We're impacted. We are impacted. We're impacted. We're ready to get up. We want to win. Light the fire of power that make us free. We never break down. We want to win. We are impacted. The best team.
Hello and welcome back to TNI UK Impacted, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. I am your host Bison, and actually you'll notice I'm here from a different location today, but we'll get to that in a second. I am also joined by the one and only Joker, and of course the man simply known as Steve. Hello fellas, how are we doing this week?
Real good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. And as I was saying there, I'm coming live to you guys from a slightly different location. Unfortunately, my man cave sprung a leak in the roof. We ended up in a big old puddle. And now we are coming to you live from Bison's boudoir. So, yes. So, yeah, there was a bit of a pickle, that one. So I literally walked into the man cave, felt some squelching underfoot, and massive puddle in the middle of the room, and yeah, so not good. So the storms last week didn't do the man cave too good. So I've got a roofer coming in next week. So, but anyway, live from the boudoir. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah. Good old British
With
weather.
what you got.
Not bad at all. So how was your week, Joe? What have you been up to, buddy?
I've been finishing off this blog for the guys, and apart from that, still getting my head around No Surrender. That was incredible.
Incredible night. Did you watch it more than once? I've watched it twice.
I watched it all once on Saturday, and it was nearly 4 hours. It flew by.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. What about you, Steve? What have you been up to, bud? Been working?
I've been busy with college, and then like Joe said, busy with No Surrender, and watched it twice. Once with once live with the ordinary commentary, and then I watched it with the alternate version. And both thoroughly enjoyable shows. And still trying to wrap my head around some of the matches and that, because it was a great start to finish. It really was. We wondered how they can continue with Hard to Kill, and they've done it.
They just kept going with a special. So far, I think this year the start from Impact has been absolutely phenomenal. It's must see specials, must see pay per view, must see TV. Fantastic! I literally cannot wait to the next show, whether it be the weekly or a special or pay per view, whatever. I just can't wait. So it's good. Can I just say a quick hello to everyone that's already joined us in the chat? I noticed Donald Hill's in there, Anna or Violet's in there. Obviously, Courtney's with us again this week from the start. Well done. And who else have we got in there? Just
Mir,
I saw Mir. Did I see Terrence and Mir? I did, didn't I?
I've been speaking to him before we got started.
Okay, so we've got Mir in the house, we've got Terrence in the house, which is fantastic to see. So hopefully, if we've got anyone new, make sure that you drop us a little note so we can see you there and give you a little shout out, welcome you to the show. Remember, we do like you guys to get involved, so leave your comments. And if they're relevant at the time, then we'll definitely read them out, and we'll certainly pop them up on the screen for others to read as well if they don't. You are just as important to this show as we are, so let's make sure that you you leave us your comments so you can get involved. It's a interactive show, this one. That's what you call it. It's interactive. But anyway, guys, you know what? Because I think most of the news and rumors are pretty much surrounding No Surrender review, I think we'll leave the news and rumors for this week and get cracking into that review. What do you think?
Yeah, let's keep it nice and simple.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good to me. Good morning, Paul. Nice to see you, my friend. That's early for you as well today. normally come in a little bit later on. We've got Keith in the house as well. Good to see you, bud. So yeah, loads of stuff, loads of people in. Let's get cracking, shall we?
Yep.
So the night started with Countdown to No Surrender, where we had two absolutely blinding matches. They kicked off with Trey Miguel versus John Skyler. I thought this was a really good match to open the countdown with. Skyler was giving Trey a good run for his money, I think, all the way through this match. No one looked weak, but also, at the end of the day, Trey got all of his classic stuff in, and I think I think it was a pretty good match, and it was good to see Trey Miguel back on our screens again after a little absence. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make the last sort of tapings, but he was there today and he did a fantastic job. What were your thoughts on this one, Joe?
It was great to see Trey Miguel back after such a huge loss to his family. So I'm glad to see him back in the ring, and it was a really fitting tribute to his mum he paid for this attire.
Yes, he was wearing his pink trousers, wasn't he, as well? The pink trousers a tribute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was touching as well. That was. What about you, Steve? What did you think on this one?
Yeah, like you both said, it was great to see Trey back and Skyler, because we don't see too much of Skyler in the ring. And, Skyler isn't the conventional X Division wrestler, but he still hung in there with Trey, and, still they both had a great match, and it was a great way to kick off the show. And I'd like to see more of Skyler in the X Division, and this just showed you how good Trey is and how much more of him we've got to see in the X Division. So yeah, great way to kick off the night.
Of energy, great way to kick off the night. So then backstage we had with Gia Miller interviewing the Team Impact boys. They were obviously very upbeat and had some words for Honor No More, warning them and letting them know and all that kind of stuff. So I thought this was cool to sort of kind of like set the tone for the rest of the night. We then head over to the next match, which was Tennille Dashwood versus Havoc of Decay. Interested on this one. I mean, Havoc takes advantage. Well, to be fair, it was a good match to start with. I think Tennille got stuck in, to be fair to her. Now, we all know I'm not the biggest Tennille fan, but I thought that she really got stuck in from the start on this one, which I thought was really good. But to be fair, I think Havoc was just too much for her. And of course, then the call came to Caleb from the inspiration, which then was a full distraction moment. And of course, Havoc took full advantage of that to get the pin, to get the win. I thought this was a fun match. I think it was more of a sort of kind of like, to drive a story rather than necessarily about the actual match itself. With the whole inspiration getting involved via phoning Caleb. I liked it. It sort of brought like a modern day twist, I guess, to the match, including obviously using the mobile phone is almost I guess the protagonist was the mobile phone. Am I right? I don't know. So yeah. So I think it was. I think it was a fun match. What did you think on this one, Steve?
Yeah, I thought it was quite enjoyable. I still partly think it could have benefited more if it was a tag match, to showcase the 4 women, and because I don't think we had another knockouts tag match, and we normally have a lot of tag matches, which is why they do single matches, but we only really had one tag match on the show. So I do think that this could have benefited from a tag match. And I liked the interference, although I do think that it was timed a bit weirdly. But I do like where it's going, and I'm still unsure in the direction it's going. Like, are we going to see a Caleb turn? Because to begin with, we thought Tennille was going to turn, but is she still going to turn, or is she going to stay with Madison? It's going to be interesting to see, because it's really up in the air, isn't it?
I agree. Can I just say a quick welcome to Zach? I just saw you turn up in the chat there, Zach. What do you think on this one, Joe?
I enjoyed this match. It was great to see Havoc back, and it was great to see Tennille finally turn up and do something. really strong performance from both of them, and the whole positioning of the camera to just get that picture of the inspiration in shot when the phone started ringing was perfectly timed. I just burst out laughing as soon as I saw that, and then when Havoc planted the tombstone on Dashwood, I'm thinking that's going to put a smile on the Bison's face.
Proud as a peacock.
I certainly was proud as a peacock. Yeah, it did put a little smile on my face. But like I say, I mean, give credit where credit's due. I thought Tennille did really well in this match. So credit to her, and of course Havoc, and of course Caleb with a K. You know, the inspiration were definitely. This match was definitely all about forwarding the storyline. And like I said, I think it did exactly what I said on the tin. It did that. So I thought it was good. It was a good match. Obviously, I think the X Division, or sorry, the Trey and Skyler match was better as a match overall, but it was still a good match. Of course, then that then leads into No Surrender itself. We had a nice little intro lead into that from Tom Hannafan, is it? Oh, I forgot.
Hannafan.
That's it, Hannafan, which was cool. And then, of course, you know, we get No Surrender. So No Surrender kicks off. And it kicks off with an absolute blinder of a match. We get the X Division #1 contender match with Chris Bay versus Speedball Mike Bailey versus Ace Austin versus Jake Something. Now, this is an interesting match all round because, you know, I haven't got my pad with me, so I can't remember who we went for and all of this, but I think it was Chris Bay. So yeah, I mean, this to me, this was an incredible match to kick off, especially with. I mean, it was a 4 men getting some great offense in, but from the start, I thought Jake was looking strong. Now, and I didn't really think about that until I watched it for the second time, how strong Jake looked in this from the start of the match. And after a few close calls and some incredible over-the-top rope spots as well, Jake finally comes out on top, catching Ace in midair and hitting the void, which, of course, I know you appreciate, Joe. Hitting the void to pick up the pin. Jake Something gets the win. Totally took, I think, everybody by surprise. I don't think anybody picked Jake Something to win this one, but it's a complete swerve. Swerve. Well done, Impact Wrestling. That's great booking. I never saw it coming, but Jake looked great in the win. What were your thoughts on this one,
is
Joe?
the good stuff.
Exactly that. What were your thoughts, Joe?
The match was incredible, as you would expect from any X Division match. This is how you kick off a night. Ace Austin looked good. Mike Bailey looked fantastic. And Jake Something was just, and Chris Bay were amazing. Jake Something, like you said, he looked ready for this match. He looked like ready to really, really push himself forward. And he was incredible. And how Ace Austin's managed to manipulate this afterwards is interesting too.
We'll get to that in a second, my friend. We'll get to that in a second.
What I did enjoy was Mike Bailey avoiding that attack from Ace Austin by springboarding over the rope as Ace Austin slid out to try and miss him, and he crashes on top of everybody. Mike Bailey was one of the standout guys in this match, and if it wasn't Chris Bay who was going to win, I had Ace Austin picking the win simply because Madman Fulton was out there, but even he got taken out, which is quite impressive as well. Yeah.
I have to say, I agree with Mir on that one. It was unusual to see that Madman Fulton didn't get involved at all in this match.
Apart from blocking Ace Austin from getting a few attacks, and then Jake Something just had.
Oh yes, he did. That was the only bit,
Jake Something just took him out because of it. So it's good.
Yeah.
Good to.
Definitely. Can I just welcome Punk, obviously, official Lil Silver, to the chat today, guys. Nice to see you. What were your thoughts on this one, Steve? I think it was because it was a great match, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great match, and as Matthew Raywalt said, every man in this match stood out because they were all slightly different, which helped elevate the match a lot. Because you didn't look at each individual and think, they're just doing the same thing. They all had their own unique style, which was so refreshing. And I know we've all been a little critical of the booking of Jake, but when you got in there and he hit those first 2 moves, and you were like, "Wow, he's really bringing it." There's a chance he could win this because he's really stepping it up. I thought he looked absolutely fantastic in this match. He really did. All four men did, but there was that little inkling that he could win this because he was just bringing it. I mean, that movie when he jumped outside the ring, we haven't seen him do that for a number of weeks, have we?
No, it's been a long time since he's had that coming, and when he delivers it, it's fantastic. And then it's just good to see Jake Sullivan getting that bit of experimentation.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
Like
Yeah,
you said,
totally.
I'm sort of surprised that Ace took the pin, but I'm really intrigued in where that storyline is going.
I agree. I am as well. I think they're trying to recruit him, but we'll talk about that in a second. Can I just say a quick hello to Dragonstorm? Nice to see you in the house again this week, fella. And also, obviously, some great comments coming in from everybody at the minute. So let's make sure we keep popping those up, Steve, so everyone can see them if they don't notice them in the chat. Just pop all those comments up. We then get Eric Young delivering one final message to Jay White ahead of their first time ever matchup tonight. Young calls himself the best all-round professional wrestler this business has ever seen. I have to say, this for me was the promo of the night and probably the promo of the year so far. Eric Young is proving basically week after week how good he really is. He's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Should we talk about this promo? Because I'm sorry, it was great. What were your thoughts, Joe? Let's go with you, Joe.
It just once again shows how Impact Wrestling's creativity and is better than everybody else's. They give the wrestlers the tools to say what they want and do what they want within reason, and then they add extra with the production and all the editing and stuff we do. You know, the promo and the music in the background really set the whole tone for how this match what the match meant to Eric Young.
Yeah,
and you really got behind him, and you really did feel intimidated by him just by watching this promo. If you didn't feel that from watching any of his other promos he's done.
Yeah, fantastic. Can I just say a quick thank you for the super sticker there from Violet? Thank you very much. What about you, Steve? Did you enjoy the promo? I thought it delivered.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and you got a feeling that there was a chance that EY could win this based on how good that promo was. And I think Trent said on Twitter at how good not just the promo from EY was, but how good the production was from Impact.
Yeah.
That is another good point to put the production side, because many of us have criticized the production of Impact over the years. But the production quality in this short promo was absolutely top notch.
It was great, and I think there was one on the previous week as well on the Impact. It was good.
Yeah, he did one online specifically for No Surrender. He did it after Impact had gone on air because he saw a lot in that one.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Can I just say a quick hello to Mega? Nice to see you here, but and Slowpoke's with us. My goodness, when was the last time Slowpoke joined us? Absolutely superb. Nice to see you, my friend. Okay, so great promo from EY, but we then moved back into the ring, and of course it was I was looking forward to this one. It's a big house match. We've got Jonah versus Black Taurus from Decay. Of course, the second time we've seen a member of Decay tonight. Now, this was, like I said, it was the first big men hitting beef match of the night, and it did not disappoint. Both men left it all in the ring, from hard-hitting chops to some incredible high-flying moves. Eventually, Jonah does his usual big old splash from the top. I don't think anyone's going to get up from that move. I think when Jonah lands on you, you're not getting up, and that's it. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Jonah gets the win. Like I said, I think this was a great match. What about you, Steve? What did you think on this one?
Well, it was nearly a classic, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. It was a classic.
Yeah, but it was kind of the immovable object beating the irresistible force, wasn't it? Where you just neither man was moving, but Troy's kind of brought that lucha style where you had that slightly different style in there, which kind of helped elevate the match a little as well. Which, because otherwise it would have been a bit like that old style big man match where it kind of felt a bit stale. So I felt that helped it as well. But yeah, this was a great match, and there was. I was very surprised that the match ended and that was it. I really expected something to happen afterwards.
Yeah, so did I. So did I, actually. But do you know what? I was so engrossed in what a great match it was. It didn't bother me at all. I was sort of kind of like, yeah, I get what you're saying. And I am surprised now we're talking about it. But I enjoyed the match. I thought it had some incredible moves.
And I will add as well, I think this was the most that I've seen Jonah tested since he faced Josh Alexander at Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Can I just say a quick hello to J-Bone, who's just joined us as well. Nice to see you, brother. And again, he's right. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up. Very, very important. Smash, squeeze, or tickle the thumbs up. We need it. Get it going. Do it now. You're on the show. Do it now. Just hit that button. Hit that button now. Thumb, hit, smash it. Remember, it all helps the videos. It helps us go up those all those timelines of everybody on YouTube. The more people that hit that, the better. So we then move on, and of course we've just had the we kicked off with the exhibition match. So we got Ace Austin, Madman Fulton confront Jake something, the X Division champion Trey Miguel, in the back after Jake became the #1 contender for the X Division title earlier tonight. Now, Austin tells Jake that he got lucky tonight, leading to a challenge being laid out by Trey Miguel for a tag team match this Thursday on Impact. So we know that we've got that match coming, obviously tomorrow night on Impact. What were your thoughts on this promo? Because I thought it was interesting because Trey sort of being the nice guy to Jake. Is this a bit of a ruse? Is it like keep your enemies closer and all that.
I don't know. Be nice to your face, and then I'll go bury you behind your back.
Exactly that. Yeah, you're right. Was it a case of this, or is there? Do you think there's a true sort of camaraderie there? What are your thoughts, Joe?
Oh, there's a lot of mutual respect between Jake Something and Trey Miguel. And this was friendly competition. I think Jake Something's going to be the bad guy anytime soon, and Trey Miguel certainly isn't going to be the bad guy. So this whole match is really to see may the best man win when it comes around at the next Impact Plus special. But the way Ace Austin in that tried to manipulate everything, you can see Ace Austin and Mike Bailey are going to go head to head at some point too.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen, definitely. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that Jake has needed a slight character change, haven't we? I don't know. I got this feeling of a look of like, what are you doing stepping in my space from Jake? And I kind of got a feel of like a heel turn coming from Jake. I don't know. Maybe because we've had the match announced, haven't we, for Sacrifice? Maybe there will be that kind of, I can't beat him like this. Something needs to happen. So I got a simmerings of something happening.
Yeah, well, there was an interesting promo which was released on the social media. I think today. I think they put it out where Jake was basically giving Trey the third degree. So maybe you're right. Maybe we're going to see turn on Trey.
Yeah, maybe Jake Something's been overshadowed for so long. You're obviously going to expect that bit more tension from him. He's not going to be laid back and all happy-go-lucky like he was when he was with the Deaners, and like he was post the Deaners when he tried to help Josh Alexander out. So he's obviously he's growing on from that now. He's going to be a bit more of an aggressive face character rather than a full-blown heel.
Maybe, like a tweener.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this tag match could be very interesting as well. If a specific person eats the pin again.
Yeah. No, I agree. Who could it be? You never know. So we then move on from this, and of course we're going to now get the classic Eric Young versus Jay White. Now this match started off hard. And to be honest with you, just got harder and harder and harder from both guys. They basically gave everything they had, and it could have gone either way. To be fair, in this match, I don't think I think we expected Jay to win, but as this match sort of progressed, I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I'm not sure who's going to win this. But we had several near falls from both men, but eventually the Switchblade hits the Blade Runner to get the victory. So Jay White ends up picking up the win on this one. But can I just say this now? Like, if you are a wrestling fan and you like wrestling matches, right? Forget promos, forget like anything, right? Just forget everything, anything else. This was a cracking wrestling match.
Like, for reals.
And I think if you were to ever say to somebody, go and check out this match from Impact Wrestling, this is the type of stuff that they produce. I think unless you're a complete moron, you'd be saying, man, that was a great match. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Joe? What do you think on this match?
Yeah, this match, along with Black Taurus versus Jonah, were two of my favorites of the entire night. And I think they were both better than W. Morrissey versus Moose. And simply because they were different, then they were much more original. You expected Jay White to win, yes, but Eric Young really took him to the limit, and it was amazing how well he held up against him. And Eric Young's chest was literally busted open from just getting chopped so many times. And that's how much punishment Eric Young took in that match. He didn't need a weapon to bust himself open. He just get chopped in the bloody chest, and it eventually split open.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was incredible. The pile driver on the edge of the ring apron was incredible.
That always makes me shudder. When I first saw him do that to Jeff Hardy, that's when I thought, "Fuck, this man really is insane." And since then, when Eric Young's brought out the world class maniac character, it's always made me think back to then. And it's just like something.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, but the thing that I always put a smile on my face when it comes to the world class maniac, right, was that when he ripped off the Sergeant Major's leg and beat him with it. Oh yeah, that was for me that was sort of one of those holy fuck moments. But anyway, Steve, what were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, you guys have said it all. Really, it was an absolute fantastic match, and I mean, I was in the camp like right down the middle because I really had no idea who was going to win this. I thought it would be a Bullet Club clean sweep, but after Chris Bay didn't get the win in the first match, I was like, this could go either way, really. And yeah, EY brought it that second half of the match. Jay White was in control the first half, but EY dominated Jay White in that second half of the match. And I think Jay White can kind of be sort of thinking this is kind of one of my toughest opponents I maybe faced. EY doesn't bring it lightly, and yeah, some of them pile driver on the ring apron. I mean, I'd love to see a pile driver off between him and Callahan.
Yeah, it was incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I have to say this was one of my favorite matches of the night. I think this was a great match. We then get Ace Austin continues his pursuit of a friendship with Mike Bailey, asks him to be his partner against X Division champion. Of course, at this point, we're all thinking that match was going to be, obviously Fulton and Ace. Then we get him asking Mike Bailey to be his, against the X Division champion Trey, Miguel, and Jake something this Thursday on Impact. Austin tells Bailey that neither Trey nor Jake respect him, prompting Bailey to accept his offer. And of course, there was a little bit in there as well where Fulton was sort of backing him up, and I don't know. I'm not sure where this one's going. I get that they're trying to recruit Bailey, but Fulton seems to be kind of, in on it. He knows what's going on. He's not upset. He's not getting upset at Ace for not wanting him to be his partner and stuff. So there's a long-term plan going on here. What are your thoughts, Steve? Because I can see you. So I can see you going.
To begin with, I was like, I don't understand what they're going with here. It seems like Ace is in a position I guess, like what Jake was in, where they're like, they don't know what to do with him. But I think it's like maybe one of these things where, like we said earlier, keep your friends closer, but your enemies closer. And they realize Bailey is a threat. So they're trying to keep him close.
Yeah.
And then, you know, not let him go off towards the X division, because they're like, if we keep him close and tell him everyone hates him, then we're in control of him, kind of thing.
Yeah, possibly. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, it's a classic storyline of, like you just said, you know, keep your friends closer and your enemies closer. And Mike Bailey is going to be X Division champion probably later on this year if Jake something doesn't get it off of Trey Miguel, and Ace Austin doesn't want that to happen. Also, Fulton at some point we just thought that Fulton actually seemed a bit pissed at Ace Austin for not acknowledging him when Ace Austin was talking about. Was talking about how he needs a partner and everything, and then he just sort of like ignored Fulton completely and just went straight to Mike Bailey. So Fulton seemed, so part of me is thinking, will Fulton snap and walk away from him?
Yeah, maybe, but it just seems that Fulton is sort of kind of okay with all of this stuff that's going on. So Fulton's kind of he's in the know. You know, he knows what's going on.
Could Fulton be playing Ace as well?
Yeah. Well, you don't know, do you? I suppose we'll have to wait and see where this all sort of kind of pans out. Just a quick one, guys. Don't forget to share the show on the socials. Let's get as many people watching as possible, and obviously plenty of thumbs up. You know how much we like the thumbs up. But anyway, we then move on, and we've got the champ challenge from Deanna. So Deanna comes out to the ring and, of course, awaiting her opponent, who turns out to be former Ring of Honor roster member Miranda Elise, who wants a shot at the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Now, of course, if you're not aware, then I believe that Miranda was in the final against Roxy, I believe, in the tournament that they had, and Roxy won. So she's obviously coming up for another bite of the apple. Why she thought she was going to be able to beat Deanna after losing to Roxy and then Roxy loses to Deanna, I don't know. But
I'm
what
the greatest.
Exactly that. She is the fucking greatest. I mean, what more do you need to know? Anyway, Elisa dives under the middle rope, colliding with Perazo on the outside. Deanna shuts down Elise's momentum with a big boot, which is kind of a strange one from her. You don't generally see big boots. Elise plants her face first into the mat with a modified spike Rana. Then obviously she hits a series of forearms in the corner, followed by running boot from for two. Then we get Elise locks in with the Miranda Rights. I don't know much about some of these names, but there you go. I was reading this one up. But Perazo fights out of it. Perazo avoids the Shining Wizard, then forces Elise to submit, of course, from the Fujiwara armbar. What more would you expect? Deanna retains the Ring of Honor Championship, and she continues to be the fucking greatest. What are your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, when Elise came out, it was like, okay, you know, because she took on Roxy Deanna and won, so it's kind of, as Ray Watt said, it's kind of natural progression that you would feel that Elise would be second in line, given that she was the one that lost in the final. So it makes a lot of sense. So that is, again, good storytelling. And I've only seen the odd match here and there, but this was a fantastic match. It really was. And again, she brings something different to the Knockouts roster in that lucha style, which we haven't really seen.
The lucha baddie.
Yeah.
Yes, the lucha baddie. That's what she goes by.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But we haven't seen that since Taya left.
No, of course.
So, you know, unless, you know, and if Impact are looking to bring her in full time, I'd be more than happy, because if you can go toe to toe with Deanna, you've got something special.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Joe? What were your thoughts on this one? Because I have to say that after watching this, I went straight on Twitter and I'm like, you need to sign this girl because she's great.
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. What were your thoughts? I agree. If they want to bring another knockout onto the roster, bring her on. Definitely, she was fantastic. and she did a hell of a job up against Diana Perazzo. No one expected her to turn up, as everyone's been saying in the chat. Nobody expected her to come in. No one could have really guessed who, but it's another Ring of Honor, former Ring of Honor star. I'm not sure if she's still signed there or not when they relaunch. It was just really, really impressive to see, and
Yes.
The right choice as well. Really, given how close she was to beating Roxy to begin with.
It's interesting. It's interesting. What I was going to say was, like, we Impact seem to do things in slightly different ways, where we seem to be getting the whole, there's a new signing this week, new signing this week. Oh, we got another new signing this week. Approach that we seem to be getting from the bigger brand. Impact are very quiet on what they're doing. They just sort of kind of, run along on their business. They bring people in, and they're checking them out. They may sign them, they may not sign them. And you don't see the signings. You don't see the signings coming. Like who saw Giselle Shaw being signed? Who saw that coming?
No one. I didn't see it. The last person I saw definitely being signed was Lady Frost, and that was only after we interviewed her. In the back of my mind, it was always there that Lady Frost would be coming to Impact Wrestling and staying, especially after she came back on Knockout SmackDown.
Exactly. I think you're right. I think she was one that we sort of thought, you know what, we think they're probably going to sign her. And she wanted to be signed as well, I think.
Yeah, she did.
Which is, that's where she wanted to go.
Yeah. You don't just sort of sign them for the sake of it. You kind of sign people who you want to be there, and you need to be there.
Exactly. So I think it's working well for them. They're doing a good job on introducing people in, bringing people along. We're getting some decent wrestlers coming to the company. It's not just
Scott. Good job.
Exactly. It's not just that they are a big name, so they sign them. Whoever they bring in seems to really bring something to the table, which is what I like. I think it's great.
Yeah. I think we all know like what you're referring to there.
Yes, of course. So we then got Gia Miller interviewing Chapel Hart, who sang the national anthem earlier in the night at No Surrender. Knockouts World Champion Mickie James tells Chelsea Green that after she defeats Tasha Steelz tonight, she's going to give Chelsea Green the next opportunity of her title. Now, can I just say something here? Is it me, right? And anyone in the chat sound off on this? Did Chapel Hart sound fucking awful singing the national anthem?
Yeah, they were all out of key. Everything. Yeah, they were not in tune with each other. This was terrible.
It was cringe. It was absolute cringeworthy.
I'll tell you what. It wasn't as good as.
No, it wasn't. It certainly wasn't. I think we'd be better off having hardcore country come out there and sing.
Yeah, but no, I thought it opened the show. I was like, okay, this is a nice way to open the show. And then within seconds, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I looked on our Discord, I looked on Twitter, and everyone was like, this is terrible.
Absolutely awful. It really was absolutely awesome. So yeah, awful for me. Awful. But yeah, please feel free to let us know your thoughts. But it had to be the most horrific rendition. I was actually waiting for people to just shoot them, to be honest, because they were absolutely murdering it.
That is not an appropriate question.
But anyway, we then move on to the DMC Championship match. Matt Cardona versus Jordynne Grace. Now, Grace puts her strength on display. She lifts Cardona with ease for a vertical suplex. Cardona uses the referee as a shield, giving him an opening to gain control. Cardona hits suplex into the corner turnbuckles. Grace comes back with a huge spine buster, and it was massive spine buster for two. Cardona hits two reboots, but it's not enough to keep Grace down. Cardona is about to use a steel chair, but Grace delivers a low blow, and then, of course, awarding the victory to Cardona by disqualification. And, of course, after the match, Grace hits Cardona with a chair to send him off packing. Cardona obviously retains via DQ. Now, I have to say that Jordynne looks absolutely incredible in this match. Just so strong.
I haven't seen fighting like that from a woman since I left my ex-wife for her sister.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. But she looks fantastic in this match. And again, it was great to see that Cardona wasn't holding back, which meant that we got a true wrestling match. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good. What about you, Joe?
Oh, this is incredible. And the Jordan Grace deadlifting Matt Cardona off the floor into that vertical suplex was amazing. And then to plant him with the spine buster, like you said, it was massive spine buster. She was one of the best spine busters next to Carl Anderson. Both of them do it a hell of a lot better than Triple H did. And he was like famous for that move. Matt Cardona, he put up a hell of a fight in this match, and to have it end the way it did added more to it as well, because nobody saw this coming either. And everyone expected Cardona to cheat to win, or to get a quick victory by roll up or something, rather than hitting the radio silence. But for Jordan Grace to end it this way, it felt really fitting. That just kick him in the bollocks, and let's happen on the match later on down the line with no disqualification in. That's where I see it going now. Jordan Grace is going to get a third match with a no DQ stipulation, which is going to add more to the Digital Media Championship.
Exactly. I think they're really elevating it at the moment. They're really, really elevating it at the moment. Mir, you expected me to know the answer to that question, or is that rhetorical? I don't know, mate. I've got absolutely no idea. Steve, what do you think on this one?
No, I thought this was great, man. I loved how it started. Because it would have felt really awkward if after the last match had the bell rung and they started with a lock up. I loved that Jordan just went straight after Matt, like she he owed her money and everything. This started perfectly.
Punched him straight in the mouth, like she said she was going to.
Yeah,
she did straight. Yeah, boom. Yeah. It was smash that mouth
perfectly. It was booked perfectly from start to finish, and I loved how it finished as well, because it feels like they're building up to that kind of integrating that Deathmatch King kind of persona, and it feels like we're going to get a DQ match now with Jordan and Matt.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And then, of course, we'll end up with the full heel turn, I think.
Yeah, the full kind of, I've done a DQ match. I am now the Deathmatch King kind of thing, because I've beaten her in a DQ match.
Yeah, last man standing, or just a general no DQ. Well, I think last man standing would work perfectly for Jordan Grace as well.
Yeah, definitely. Mir, how can I answer that question? I am not part of the Impact Wrestling team.
Yeah.
I've got no idea why they didn't announce him as NWA champion. I mean, maybe they will in the future. I don't know, but I guess at the moment they're focusing on the Digital Media Championship, which is what he is when it comes to Impact Wrestling. So I don't know. Anyway, we then get Gia Miller interviewing the number one contender for the Knockouts World Title, Tasha Steelz, when it's discovered that Eddie Edwards has been laid out backstage. Terrible news, absolutely terrible news. We don't know what's going on from there. We then head back into the arena to then find out the Impact World Tag Championship is on the line. We've got the Good Brothers versus G.O.D., the Gorillas of Destiny, which we've all been looking forward to. It was a first time ever matchup. It does say, it's just first time ever matchup. And it's going to be for the Impact World Tag Team titles. Now, G.O.D. charge at the Good Brothers, literally to kick things off. They just go for it. The action spills out to the outside. Gallows hits Tama Tonga with a powerful pump handle slam. Look at me with my knowledge. Tama Tonga clotheslines Anderson. We get G.O.D. connect with a double team net breaker, but Gallows breaks the pin just in time. Anderson hits the precision net breaker on Tama Tonga for the 2. The Good Brothers deliver some double team offense of their own at this point. We then get Tama Tonga soars with a top rope splash to Anderson. I mean, do you know those two proper had it in for each other? Tama Tonga and Anderson, they were proper going for it.
Well, that's where the heat is, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Chris Bay then comes down to ringside as Gallows choke slams Tangaloa on the floor. Jay White sneaks up behind Tama Tonga and hits him with the Blade Runner. Shock, horror. The Good Brothers capitalize with a Magic Killer to retain the Impact World Tag Team titles in obviously the shocking turn of events. Well, none of us saw this coming. This was, you know, as much as the later on thing is a bit of a shock. There were, you know, we'll talk about that in a second. But for me, this was definitely the shock of the night. Never expected this. And boy, was it a good match.
Yeah,
like
this is one
the best Good Brothers match so far. And I thought they had a good match against Finjuice as well. They had a couple of good matches against Fin, but this was badass. What about you? What were your thoughts on this, Steve? And of course the shocking events that happened later on.
Yeah, like you said, I thought this was for me one of my matches of the night. And I agree with you that I think this was one of their best matches since their matches with Finjuice. And it seems to me that if you want to get a good match out of the Good Brothers, you have to have them connect with the match. And for me, this was a personal match with the Good Brothers, and the Finjuice match was a personal match with the Good Brothers. So if you want a good match with the Good Brothers, it needs to be they need to connect with it. That's what I feel. This top to bottom, it was fast paced. There was a lot of like you said, Tama Tonga and Carl Anderson. That was brutality. There was a lot of hard hitting stuff with them. But Doc Gallows and Tangaloa, they didn't shy away either. You know, they had a lot of hard hitting stuff between them. So yeah, I could quite happily watch this 2 or 3 times this match.
I enjoyed it both times I watched it.
Yeah, and then the angle at the end, I don't think any of us saw that coming.
That was a complete shock.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Joe? What's your take on this bad boy?
This was by far one of the best Good Brothers match they've had since they've come to Impact Wrestling, and it was another one of the matches that really stood out for me more than the Knockouts Championship match or the World Title match. This really did make the rest of the night really hard to beat. If Eric Young versus Jay White didn't do that already, this was just an incredible match. I was so impressed with all everyone in it, and then to have it all end the way it did, I didn't see it coming. You know, I'm just thinking, oh God, that's everyone's prediction gone out the window. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it was crazy. I just totally threw me. And I have to say, every single match, they all had a decent length. But it just all went so quickly, because we were just so into everything that was going on. It's so well put together. It's brilliant, really, really good. And like I said, the shock for me was the other shock, of course, was that the match was so good. Not only did we get the shock at the end, the actual match was so good, and I don't think, like, regardless of whether it was the GOD or not, people just don't expect the Good Brothers matches now to be that great. But so for me, the shock of the fact that their match was just so strong, then compiled with the shock of Jay White and Chris Bay coming out and turning on the Gorillas of Destiny, was just like icing on the cake. So of course we get all of that going on. We're still reeling from the shock of everything that's going on, and then we get hit with a Knockouts Championship match, of course, which obviously is Mickie James versus Tasha Steelz. Of course, they all come out. Time, it hits a running boot to gain control in the early going. Tasha turns the tide with a springboard dropkick, sends her to the floor. Tasha calls out Mickey's husband through the camera. I thought that was brilliant. but that only fires Mickey up, who, you know, hits her with a net breaker. Tasha distracts the referee, allowing Evans to get involved and throw Mickey into a steel ring posts. Tasha then hits a bicycle kick, you know, for a 2 count. The momentum shifts on, you know, as Mickey bites Tasha and hits the top rope. You know, and again, you know, a press for 2. Chelsea Green evens the odds for Mickey as she takes out Evans on the apron. Mickey sends Tasha crashing into Green, then scores a pinfall to retain the Knockouts World title. So the thing is with this match for me, right, is although it started off really, really well, and I'm not saying I dislike the match, I'm not, okay? Although it started off really, really well, it sort of kind of ended up into a shit show where it was more of a everything was interference based as opposed to like Mickey actually winning clean. Mickey didn't. At the end of the day, there was lots of interference. There was loads of moving parts, which all worked perfectly fine. I just felt it didn't need it. You've got 2 incredible talents. Didn't need all that shit show at the end. For me, that's my thoughts on it. Up until the point where it all started getting a bit mechanical, you know, where it all started getting a bit mechanical is where I started to time out of it a little bit because I was enjoying the match and then it started to get a little bit silly for me. But I'm glad to see, you know, I mean, Mickey retains. She's doing some great work for the Impact brand at the moment, so she's a perfect person to head up the Knockouts. However, you know, I hope to God that Tasha gets another shot at some point in the future because I think she'll make a great champion. What are your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that the match itself was fantastic. I thought both women, both knockouts brought everything and left it all out there. I thought if anyone had any doubts about Tasha and if she deserves to be a main eventer and a top level talent, I think she proved all them doubters wrong in this match. I thought she absolutely showed that she deserves to be at that main event level. But I do agree with you that the finish I left, you know, it felt a bit flat. For me, I think that it was how it came about. I think that I think that it was booked a bit weirdly for me. That Chelsea came in, they had that moment where obviously she, you know, got Savannah away, and then she just laid there on the ring apron. And
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, clearly had time to get off.
Yes,
and it looked like it was booked very weirdly. So that for me was what kind of took it away. I think that this either there was a timing issue or either maybe there'll be an explanation. Maybe Chelsea will say, well, I laid there deliberately to help you. You know, if that's the case, then maybe there'll be an explanation to kind of help the match. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, it felt. I agree. It kind of. It wasn't as good, I don't think, as what we saw with the tag match.
Yeah, I agree. So can I just quickly say a hello to Hakeem? Just popped into the chat. Great guy. Don't forget to post any articles about Impact you got going on later, buddy. You know, we like to see all those sort of things as well.
I will kind of, yeah. I think there is a big storyline going on with Green and Mickey.
Yeah, so do I. I agree with that. But for me, I'm just saying the way that this particular match ended, I think was just... It was a bit of a shit show for me. It just wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't seem to work. It was a bit mechanical, a bit hit miss.
I have the runs.
Exactly that, Susie. Exactly that. Definitely.
In my
ass. So I'm hoping that you know, it all sort of kind of comes a little bit full circle. We do end up with a Tasha run at some point. I think she deserves it. Can I just say, Mir, I couldn't give an absolute dog's shit and piss what happened on SmackDown. There you go. Thank you for that super sticker there, Courtney.
Sammy can vouch for that too.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for the super sticker, Courtney. We appreciate that, sweetheart. That's lovely. Thank you. So we then go back still. We got Rich Swann revealing that Dr. Ross has not medically cleared Eddie Edwards to compete tonight, which is kind of strange. Following his attack at the hands of an unknown assailant, Swann introduces his longtime friend, tag team partner as Eddie's replacement, Willie Mack. So, obviously Mack is back, which is great. So everyone's happy. That's a great replacement for Eddie. Obviously Dr. Ross is, got something to say here, I think.
Where is it? Look at this dumbass.
I'm not going to argue with you. I don't watch SmackDown, so I don't give a monkeys. Nothing. It doesn't truth hurts because I don't watch it, so I don't care. I have no care in what they're doing, right? Anyway, so great replacement there. Then what we do is we then move on to the Impact World Title match. Brian Myers obviously joins Tom Hannafan and Matthew Raybolt on commentary. Can I just say quickly? I haven't mentioned this, but I think Tom and Matthew have done a fantastic job.
Yes.
Since coming together over the last few,
I'll be honest. When they had that first show where they done it, I was a bit like, I'm not sure. But after that, it took me a little while to get on board. But I'm really down if these two are going to go forward. As I really liked D'Lo and Hannafan together, but if D'Lo is going to step away and we're going to have Raybolt, I'm fine with these two. Raybolt does a great job of being a heel commentator, but not going too far with it.
Yeah, and he knows the roster in and out as well, which helps. He knows a lot of the moves and everything too. So he's a good color commentator, and he's also just a guy who knows everything without being too much of a smart ass.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So they've done up to this point, they've done a really, really good job. Okay. Then obviously Brian Myers comes in, which quite frankly, I could listen to Brian on commentary with his little quips all day long. I think it was fantastic. And he did mention as well, and Hakeem's bringing it up. He also mentioned that the learning tree is done, which I think we knew anyway because we had that promo, didn't we, where he was like, it's done. So, but he did mention it again just to clarify that that learning tree was done for now. I thought that was good, but I thought Myers did a fantastic job during this. He was throwing in quips all over the place. There was one thing it's totally slipped my mind now, but I mentioned it on the night. He said something. It was like a one-liner, and I actually repeated it on Twitter.
The best one for me was where he said.
I can't remember what it was.
The best one for me was where he said Moose doesn't have a last name, Morrissey doesn't have a first name.
Yeah. just silly quips like that all the way through. It's just really good. Anyway, go on. So
but no, we all loved Callis, didn't we? And I think Myers is the new Callis on commentary. He's got to be.
Maybe. I thought Callis was okay. I wouldn't say he was amazing. So Moose hits not one but two spears in the first few minutes of the match, which I thought was Jesus Christ, here we go. Morrissey avoids a third spear, which probably would have ended it there and then. And he connects with obviously one of his famous big boots. Morrissey hits then a thunderous power bomb, but Moose rolls out to the outside to avoid obviously getting the pin. Morrissey Irish whips him into the steel guardrails after following him out. Moose sends Morrissey crashing through the timekeeper's table with a vicious Uranagi, which was very vicious. It's not enough to keep him down as Morrissey comes back with another BQE, this time on the apron. Moose connects with yet another spear. I mean, how many spears did we see in this match? But Morrissey gets his arm under the bottom rope. Morrissey obviously hits another BQE, and this time it's Moose who puts his foot under the bottom rope to break the pin. It was just, for two big men slapping meat, it was fast and furious all the way through. I thought this was a fast match, fast paced. You've got a 7-footer in there, you've got a 6'7", 6'6", and these guys weren't hanging about. And then of course Moose puts foot under the rope, gets a pin to break the pin. A few moments later, Moose hits one final spear to then obviously retain the Impact World title. What a match, guys! What a match! We knew that Morrissey is clearly a star. We know Moose is a star. We've been saying it for years, but he really is now. His title reign for me is awesome so far. This match just absolutely topping it off at the moment.
It's been a bangorama.
It was an incredible match. This was an incredible match. Two guys beating the holy crap out of each other. Great match. What were your thoughts on this match, Joe?
It was a massive house fight like we had with Black Taurus and Jonah. I didn't think this was as good as Black Taurus and Jonah. I thought it was a bit repetitive, but that is mostly down to the fact that these two guys are so bloody big that they don't need a huge amount of moves in their arsenal, and you're not going to see Moose do like a jumping Spanish fly to W Morrissey off of the turnbuckle and things like that. They did work with moves that they know they could pull off on each other without breaking the whole format of the match. Making like botches and things like that. Every move they did to each other was brilliantly well done, really hard hitting, and I could have watched them do that back and forth over and over again for ages. But near the end of the match, I was thinking, we know Moose is going to win this. It's got to happen now. But the back and forth in the ring when Morrissey got his arm under the rope and then Moose does it, I thought, oh, damn. But we can see where this is going. It was story-wise, it was played out brilliantly. And it just shows that Morrissey has definitely got interest in sticking with Impact Wrestling to go through that and still take the loss. And Moose, like you said, we've said it for years that Moose is a bloody star. So if this doesn't shut some of the wankers that are bloody still doubting Moose up, then I don't know what the hell will.
Exactly. I have not seen many people doubting Moose. I have to be honest, but I think he is purely a wrestling god. I didn't know that, Mir. So yeah, it's called Lights Out. This Moose's spear. I didn't realize that. I don't know why I didn't realize that. They probably say that all the time, but there you go.
They don't say it as often as they used to. Josh Matthews would mention it quite a lot, and Matt Strike did once or twice. Then they just don't call it that anymore.
To be fair, again, when we had, I liked him initially. Josh Matthews, I think, is okay, but again, I probably tuned out from him as well.
Oh God, yeah, he would repeat himself too much.
Yeah, definitely.
He'd be like me. He'd forget what he's saying or go on for too long and not shut up, letting somebody else talk.
Cool.
Who was that, Josh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Josh was one of those people where I thought he was good, depending who he worked with. Some people helped him, some people made him worse.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I just want to clear something up, right? Because it's not about me not caring, right? At the end of the day, I don't watch a product. If Roman Reigns' spear is better than Moose, fair play. I don't watch the product, so I don't care, right? That's the thing. I don't care because I don't watch that product. It's nothing more. The Charlotte Flair match could have been absolutely a fucking banger and the best match ever. But I didn't see it. I don't watch the product. So guess what? I don't care. I don't have an opinion on it. All right. Just like I don't have an opinion on who's got a better spear between Moose and Roman Reigns. But what I do know is that I like Moose's spear. It's pretty good. And to be fair, my favorite spear is probably Bobby Lashley. But there you go. There's my thoughts on it all.
Period.
That's a good one too. But there you go. So let's clear that one up. It's not about me not liking it. It's not about me, I don't care. You can talk about it. You can say someone's got a better spear. If you know that, that's great because you watch the product. I don't, so I don't care. So there you go.
You don't see it, you can't judge it.
I can't judge someone I don't see. So there you go. Anyway, so overall, I thought this was a cracking match. Personally, I would say this one, Jonah and Black Taurus, was probably on par. But I would say this one just takes it because of it had something at stake, shall we say? You know what I mean? There was more meaning to this particular match. So I think it was good. I think it was good. Bison deserves a machine gun soundbite. Shots fired, maybe. But anyway, so once this one is completed, obviously we then head to the main event. Now the main event for No Surrender is Team Impact versus Honor No More. Now we've been waiting for this one. A lot of people have been like, "Oh, why is this the main event? It should be the World Championship." Maybe not. This is a big one. So we're all anticipating this. We're all like, where are we going to go with this? I think everyone that's been watching this storyline build is pretty much invested in it and was probably been looking forward to seeing it. We then get Eddie Edwards earlier in the night taken out. We get Willie Mack brought back in. Wow, this is, the story's continually moving, evolving, and we're there. So everyone hits the ring. We get Vincent takes a cheap shot and Macklin to jumpstart the match. Rhino and PCO exchange strikes in the middle of the ring, with Rhino gaining the upper hand following clotheslines. The pace quickens, of course, when Willie Mack hits Kenny King with an explosive dropkick. Macklin hits then King with a pinpoint backbreaker. Sabin joins the fray as Macklin joins forces, tandem offense. This match was just so fast. There's so much going on in such a short space of time. We then get Maria provides a distraction from the outside, allowing Taven to capitalize with just the tip on Sabin. Moments later, Sabin takes out both Taven and Bennett with a dropkick DDT combo. That was badass. Right, that was badass. I really enjoyed that. Swan picks.
I can turn it on anytime, Pat. Come on, no problem.
Exactly that, Sharp Boy. Exactly that. That's the fishing line. Then Vincent soars with a leg drop onto the outside of Taven, hits the blue thunder bomb on Swan, but his partner Willie Mack breaks the pin. Swan sidesteps a charging PCO. The crowd were going PCO. Like pretty much the whole match. He was so over, it was ridiculous. So that was interesting stuff going on there. So we get Willie Mack then breaks a pin. Swan sidesteps a charging PCO, causing him to crash and burn on the exposed floor. That looked pretty mean, to be fair. Rich and Willie then joins forces for a top rope swinging net breaker on Bennett. PCO hits a choke slam on Macklin, followed by the leg drop from the top rope. King sends Macklin into the referee. King take to the skies with some awesome aerial offense at this point. PCO hits once again, hitting the PCO saw to the outside is one of his favorite moves, which we all love to see. Then Eddie Edwards comes running down and hits the ring, but in an ultimate, basically turn, betrays Team Impact, attacks them with his kendo stick. King crawls for the pin and referee to count 3. Honor No More win the Impact, win the match. The Impact Faithful are left stunned as fan favorite Eddie Edwards, the heart and soul of Impact, betrays Team Impact. And then
that son of a bitch.
Exactly. Then, of course, No Surrender goes off there. Honor More standing tall alongside
Make the dog jump.
Eddie Edwards. Now, okay, so we get the turn at the end. We get wasn't as unexpected. I think this one wasn't quite as unexpected as over the last few weeks. We sort of thought, oh, is Eddie going to turn? Lots of people have been speculating is Eddie's going to turn. But of course, the this is why I'm saying this one wasn't quite as unexpected as the Jay White turn, but this was massive. I think no matter how much people thought, oh, it's going to be Eddie, it's going to be Eddie, in our hearts, we didn't want it to be Eddie, right?
Yeah, it was fucking brilliant. It's just the short and sweet way just to sum up how this all came about. It was absolutely fucking brilliant how Eddie Edwards came out and did that. It was, oh god, the match itself was fantastic, and I really couldn't add anything without mixing up what had happened, because so much has happened in the match. I'm going to have to go back and watch it again, but I was so into this match from start to finish. It was just incredible, and Steve Macklin did for the show that he is an Impact guy. Really proved everybody wrong, because everyone was still looking over their shoulder at him for a little while when the match was underway. After they finally got in the ring, everyone was still a bit unsure about Steve Macklin, so he still spent a good 5 or 10 minutes on his own.
They made that obvious as well, didn't they? They really made that obvious. I thought the storytelling in this match was fantastic.
Yeah, it's like it's been Lil Silver said, it's probably the best storyline Impact Wrestling put together since I've been watching, since that's been back 2016. It's definitely been the best storyline I've seen from Impact Wrestling, and this is what you would have hoped to have seen when AEW and Impact Wrestling were doing something together, and Ring of Honor's coming back in April, and they're doing this to help bring Ring of Honor back into the spotlight as well. So that just shows how dedicated Impact Wrestling is to everybody else.
Yeah, it's dedicated to the wrestling business. It's not just all about Impact, and I think that's great. What's interesting about how this all pans out, though, I think somebody just said it. I think Hakeem said it. Where Eddie yanks off the Impact, the Impact thing on his shirt, throws that down on the floor. All these sort of things are very subtle, but at the same time make a massive impact. They mean a lot. I think it's interesting. And you're right. The big question here now is, does Alicia Edwards turn heel and join On and More as well?
No, I don't think Alicia's going to get involved. I think Alicia Edwards is still going to go her own way. I think she's going, if anything, she's going to question what the hell Eddie Edwards is doing, like she usually does, and then end up getting back with the kendo stick for it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Donald Hill's just mentioned there in the chat. This is interesting because it does, give Eddie a load of new matchups as a heel as opposed to the face all the time. And of course, is this going to lead eventually to a Sammy versus Eddie, but Eddie the heel, Sammy the face?
Sammy Callahan and Ace Austin have jumped on this straight away and said, "We told you Eddie Edwards was the bad guy." Ace Austin's demanding an apology off of everybody. And Sammy Callahan's really tearing into Eddie Edwards, and he's been doing with Moose. Anytime Eddie Edwards said something, Sammy Callahan's instantly on him, and it's just like, eat shit. I hope you fucking die. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, can you imagine that shit on WWE? Fucking hell, it's just mental. I love it. I think that they have built the storylines. I mean, this is a fantastic storyline in its own. On and More thing, fantastic storyline. We got the Bullet Club stuff, which is building up. There's so many things going on Impact at the moment. There's stories for everything. Nothing is not looked at. Nothing is not taken into consideration. I just think this is a great time to be an Impact fan.
Oh, baby!
If you're not an Impact fan, you need to be giving it a go. You need to be checking it out. And there's so many ways to watch it now. There's no excuses. But there you go. And I have to say, I don't know. I'm hoping Alicia does join in, because I think if Alicia joins On and More as well, it'll be the making of her.
Yeah. Well, this is also going to be because what we'll talk about in a bit, it's going to be very interesting how they address it, because that can also make or break the story, can't it?
Yes, exactly. I agree. So there you go. That was the end of our review for No Surrender this past Saturday. All in all, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was an absolutely cracking show. You know, and I'm only taking off a little bit of a point there because I think there was a few backstage sound segments that were an issue. There was a bit of a lighting issue, I think, during the start of the digital media match, something like that. So I'm going to take a little bit off of that. But overall, I think this was a fantastic sort of 3 or 4 hours of wrestling. And if you don't think that, then I just don't know what to tell you. It was a fantastic night. I really enjoyed it. I was so glad that I got up to watch it as opposed to waiting until the morning. Really, really good. I'm giving it a 9. Interested to see what you guys thought. You know, what would you give it out of 10? On the you know, in the chat there. Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Give us your thoughts. What would you give No Surrender out of 10? Like I said, I'm giving it a 9. What about you, Steve? What are you going with?
Well, I gave Hard to Kill a 9.5 because I thought, well, there's always the possibility that you could get better. And I will give it I think I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10 because like you said, there were a few issues, and I think a couple of the matches there were, like we said with the knockouts match, it went a bit iffy at the end. So I think that there were a few, when you look deep, a few kind of it wasn't quite as good as what we thought, but 7 out of 10 for a show that was just you know, that's still flipping good.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Joe? I'm still sticking with my 9.
Well, I hate giving scores like this. It's just not fair. I'm Hard to Kill was 10 out of 10 for me, and this was 9.5 or 9.22222222223.
Fantastic. Yes. So okay. So I mean, you know, I think when I'm looking in the chat there, it looks like the average is giving it a sort of between 8.5 and 9. So I'm going with that. I just think that, you know, any show that you can sit there and go, oh, it's finished. You know, that must mean they're doing something right because we enjoyed it from top to bottom. So good. Now, this last few days, we've been getting some matches advertised for our next special, which is obviously Sacrifice, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Now, already we're advertising matches. Now, the first one that we got advertised was Jay White, which versus Alex Shelley. Now, of course, nobody was expecting that. And I think this has to be this is going to be an absolute barn burner of a match. You know, as soon as this came out, I'm like, yep, take my money. This is going to be a fantastic show. Fantastic match. What are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
I'm so looking forward to seeing this. It's been 2 years since Alex Shelley was in Impact Wrestling and wrestling in general. So it's going to be really good to see him back. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they build this back up and how they build this whole story together. Could we get the Bullet Club versus the Motor City Machine Guns? Is where I'm thinking it could go.
Yeah, that could be interesting. So what about you, Steve? What do you think?
Yeah, this is a great match, and like there is a lot of history there as well, isn't there? Because like obviously the Machine Guns back in the day, they took Jay White under their wing, so there's a lot of history going back to Jay White, and you know there's a lot. If we see Shelley stick around this time, I'm hoping that we see him come to the next set of tapings to build this match up a little bit. So who knows? Like Joe said, you know, we could see that. The Guns go against the Bullet Club, although I am loving what Saban's doing on his own currently. So there's a lot of different ways that things could go.
Yeah, definitely. All I know is that everyone went mad when they saw this one being.
This will be a cracking match.
Going to be a cracking match. If you've not seen Jay White or you're not seen Alex Shelley in action, oh dear, you're in for an absolute. Treat with these guys. I think it's going to be great. We then got the Inspiration versus the Influence. Finally,
happens.
If Tennille actually turns up, that is. This hopefully this is going to happen. This is where we're going to see the turn. Hang on a minute. No, that's not. That's not Moose. Pop that one up.
What? Hang on.
That's a joke. That's not really Moose, surely. Come on, Steve, put it up.
If that's
No, wrong
Moose,
one. Quinn.
then
Quinn Ojanako or Ojanaka, whatever his name. That's his real name. Quinn Ajanaka.
If that's really Moose, then he can tell me what happened to Eddie Edwards after we confronted him.
Look, 100% Moose. Look at that. Moose just joined us in the chat, everybody.
Well, it's good to see you. If it really is you, it's good to see the wrestling god, the man known as Moose. Congratulations on your victory at No Surrender.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Absolutely superb. And trust me, Moose, we were putting you over big time when we were talking about your match. It was fantastic. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
How about that, everybody? Moose in the chat of
welcome.
TNI UK.
Oh my god, this year is going to be fantastic. I thought when this kicked off, this is just getting better and better.
Wow, what a day. Absolutely superb. So that's going to be a fantastic match.
Moose said that he was a bad guy too. Moose was right, guys. Can't deny the wrestling god.
Well, talking about Eddie, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, he definitely said that. But so it's interesting how this one's going to pan out. We got the Inspiration versus the Influence. Finally, it's going to happen. I hope it's going to happen. Are we going to see a turn? Are we going to see a turn from Tennille or Caleb with a K? I mean, he's been getting phone calls from the Inspiration. They bought him a new phone. They sent him pictures. He's got them taking photographs of them. You know what is going to happen with this situation? Are the Inspiration and the Influence? Is anyone in the Influence going to turn and join the Inspiration? What are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
I think before this match gets underway, like the week before, I think Caleb with the K is going to go and join the Inspiration. But he's been Madison Rain's been telling him to do this, do that, do this, do that, do that, and blaming him for everything when it is his fault. But Caleb with the K, he's getting all the love and support from the Inspiration. I think he's going to be inspired. Yeah,
I agree. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I think we all see the Caleb turn coming. It's one of those where do we see Tennille coming turning as well? I think we do, and part of me feels that I don't think it will come at Sacrifice, but I think by Rebellion we will see the Allure turn up as well to counter it.
Yeah. That would be awesome. I think that would be absolutely awesome. I think the way things are going at the moment, you could definitely see that they're sort of kind of going in a certain direction with the tag team titles. I actually have a funny feeling that we might see Fire and Flavor again at some point too. So that's going to be interesting how that also turns out as well. But yeah, fantastic. So can I just say, going on tradition, we need to obviously welcome Moose to the chat. So I did do that because we obviously do that. We've got Gary in the house again. And we've also noticed that Terrence has suddenly popped up again. And Andrew Pollard is in the chat. So a few more people have been joining us today. So welcome, guys. It's lovely to have you with us. And like you say, don't forget to share on the socials. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. The more thumbs up, the more shares we get, the more people get to see us. So keep doing all that great work. I know that quite a lot of you already do that, so we really appreciate it. Thank you. We then have the X Division Championship match advertised for Sacrifice. Miguel versus Jake something. Now, we obviously knew that Jake was the number one contender. We just didn't know when that was going to happen. This Thursday, tomorrow night, Trey and Jake tag in. Are we going to see possibly Jake turn on Trey? Who knows? What are your thoughts on this one, guys? I'm going to go with Steve on this one. Joe, have a think what you're going to say. What are we going to say on this one, Steve? Have a think.
I thought that we would be building to Chris Bay taking the title from Trey Miguel at either Sacrifice or Rebellion. And we are, given that Jake has won this match and it really looks like he's on a push, I think Trey has had a great run, and I think the time is now to strike with Jake. He's at the best I feel he's been on this singles run. And yeah, it really looks like either with a heel turn or either win the title and push him as a face. But yeah, I think it's strike now, or you've lost with Jake. So yeah, I think you've got to go with him.
I think so. I just got this feeling that they're giving him a push. He's obviously potentially, we knew that his contract was coming to an end in February. So, this could be the last hurrah. Thank you very much. Here's a showcase. Off you go. Or it could be the big push that we've been waiting to happen. So I'm excited to see where this goes for Jake. He's a fantastic talent. He's a big dude. He's got, he's athletic. Funny enough, he's a bit like Moose, if you think about it. He's sort of kind of, he's similar stature, similar size, got that same kind of athletic approach to his matches and his in-ring style. I think he's fantastic. I think he'd make a fantastic X Division champion. Not take anything away from Trey, because Trey is awesome as well.
Oh no!
So either way, I'm going to be happy, I think, in this one.
Yeah,
because both guys are amazing. Both guys are great.
It's a win-win.
Exactly, definitely a win-win all around on that one. Now, guys, that's about it. That's what we've got advertised for Sacrifice so far. I'm looking forward to seeing a few more matches maybe come about during Impact tomorrow night.
I've got one prediction for Sacrifice. I think we're going to see Moose versus Jonah for the World Championship.
Whoa, that'd be a big one. That'd be a big one.
And I think we'll definitely see, I can definitely see Eddie versus either Sabin or Macklin, given what they've sort of been setting up.
Yeah, Macklin and Eddie Edwards are on a collision course.
I would say, yeah, I agree with that.
I think W. Morrissey and Brian Myers are on a collision course as well. But it would be Brian Myers versus Moose, but I think would be more the right way to go now. But I think Jonah versus Moose first, because Jonah, we don't know how long Jonah's going to be around, and I think he'll be gone going back to New Zealand for by Rebellion. So have Jonah have the two biggest men in the roster now that W. Morris has been taken care of and put to the back of the line. Give them a match to themselves, and let's see them tear that place down, because Jonah was awesome and Moose was awesome. So let's see them go together. And Myers and Morrissey, it would be fantastic as well to see these two really tear out each other.
You just don't know. You just never know. Can I just say welcome to Norris Sparks? Nice to see you in the chat there, bud. Thank you for joining us. I'm not gonna say too much on the Josh Alexander thing. I don't think Jake should take his spot. I think Jake is his own man.
I think Jake's got a lot to do till he gets there too.
Same with Madman Fulton. They got a little while to build up yet.
They definitely have. They are getting there.
Doing a good job with Fulton. But I want hopefully we see them go for tag team gold.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. Yeah, definitely. We need to see some more teams mixing that up that are Impact based, I think. Now, we then had this week, in fact, yesterday, we had the digital media exclusive match. So that was Giselle Shaw, obviously the latest knockout to join the roster, versus Alicia Edwards. Now, obviously, we've just been talking about Alicia. Is she going to join Eddie with Honor No More? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I actually think a heel turn for her would absolutely make her. But we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out. However, what I will say is on this one, it was a great match. I think Alicia looked fantastic in this one. Obviously, Giselle Shaw looked great. Giselle gets the win. I think it was about a 6 or 7 minute match. I enjoyed it. They both got in some good offense. Nobody looked, weak or anything like that. And Alicia certainly didn't look weak in the loss. Really, really good match. I enjoyed it. What were your thoughts on this one, Joe?
I love this match. It's one of the better times. You get one of the best times. If you want to see good offense from Alicia Edwards, then watch this match. Because she often doesn't get the chance to put in a really good set of offense. This was brilliant. This is what you get to see from her outside of Impact Wrestling. really. Although this was on the before the whole pre-show to No Surrender, but this is what you see from Alicia Edwards outside of Impact Wrestling, is this style of matches, and she is so underrated and so underutilized as a competitor. It does get frustrating, but she's happy with the way everything's going. So I've got no issues with Impact Wrestling there. You know, as long as the talent's happy, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't like to see her go for a heel turn, because there's already a lot of heel based knockouts on the roster, and to have her and Eddie Edwards together, they would work if they were like a power couple on their own in the heel role. If they were to like break away from it or something, but I just don't think Alicia Edwards being on the enemy side would work for her, given how over she is with the fans. It wouldn't be the same as like, why did you do it, Eddie? It wouldn't be the same as, why did you do it, Alicia? It wouldn't have the same.
I don't know about that, because everyone knows that Eddie and Alicia are married. And they always support each other.
Yeah, everyone's going to be expecting them. It's more entertaining having them fighting each other than having them on the same side. You know, when Alicia Edwards was fighting Eddie Edwards over Tommy Dreamer, over Moose, Ace Austin, Sammy Callahan, we got some really, really good chemistry between them then. And it's just good to see Alicia Edwards not constantly being reminding everyone that she is with Eddie Edwards' wife. She's her own person.
Okay, yeah, I'm down with that take. What about you, Steve? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this was a great match, and it's nice to see Alicia kind of really showing what she can do, because, like you say, she's one of the most underrated wrestlers on the Knockouts roster. You know, people kind of see her come in and just see, here's someone that can get over as a squash match, but she's so underrated in what she can offer, and I would like to sort of put forth that she can someone who Marsha can have a good match with, because we're seeing little by little that, you know, every so often that Marsha's having squash match after squash match, she's going to have a good opponent that she can now have a match with, and Alicia is one of those who can give good offense to, but you know that she's sadly not going to be one of those that is going to get a win. And I think Masha is someone who she can have a good match with and give good offense to.
Yeah, you could be right. Maybe we could see that later in the future. And maybe what Joe's saying is maybe we could sort of see Alicia join sort of kind of Team Impact and like, hey, what the hell are you doing? You know, that kind of thing. Who knows? We just have to wait and see on that.
They just need to do something with her, I feel.
I do as well. I think she's great. You know,
Gary said it perfectly here. You know, if Alicia Edwards is going to turn heel, then Maria's not going to share the spotlight with her. So
yeah, that's true. Okay, so we've not got any BTI match advertised yet, so we don't know what's going on with that. So I'm sure that'll get released over the next sort of 24 hours. Then we move on to Impact. So we've only got at the moment 3 matches that we know of. So we'll just have a quick talk about those. So we've got Ace Austin, Mike Bailey versus Trey and Jake something. Now we know that's going on because obviously that was made during No Surrender. So we know that's going to happen, even though they've not actually advertised it, I don't think, yet. Now I think this is going to be interesting. We've already said, is Jake going to be able to coexist with Trey, knowing that, you know, he's next to go for the X Division title. Ace Austin is clearly trying to manipulate Mike Bailey, bring him on side. It's going to be interesting, the dynamic in this match and where this sort of pans out. You know, are people going to be trusting each other? Let's put it that way. Is Jake going to turn on Trey?
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see, aren't we, boys?
Yeah. Well, I think I did like the whole Jake and Trey build when on No Surrender was when Trey Miguel gave him the secret handshake of the Rascals after they agreed to team up together, and Jake Sam was just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. And then, of course, you get the promo from Jake, which was put over social media, where he was sort of basically saying that Trey, you know, he's going to lose against him and stuff. So he was going to be called Jake X Division Champion from now on, which I thought was quite good. So we then have the fallout, I guess you could say, from the Honor No More versus Team Impact match, where we've got Taven, Bennett, and King, all fantastic talents, versus Swan, Mac, and Saban. Again, all fantastic talents. You know, it's going to be, I don't think there's any stipulations on this one at the moment. So it looks like it's a straight 3-on-3 tag. You know, what are your thoughts on this one? Let's go with Joe.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. And we know there's going to be backstage shenanigans or something. Eddie Edwards has got a lot to answer for, so that'll either kick off and then it'll lead to this match. But it's going to be good to see what happens and where the rest of the guys on and more stand during this match. Are they going to be at ringside, or are they going to be banned from ringside? And same with Team Impact.
Exactly.
Because I don't want to see this match break down into a fight and get thrown out. Not just yet. Maybe a bit more closer towards.
The question is, who's going to be in each other's corner? I mean, are we going to get Macklin in the corner? I personally think that we're probably going to see PCO versus Macklin or something tomorrow night as well.
Yeah.
Or something like maybe Vincent versus Macklin or something like that. I think we're going to get another match.
Vincent and Macklin, I think, and then because they're going to be building towards Eddie Edwards and Steve Macklin because Macklin's called him out already. So there's no point in giving them that match straight away.
We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Could be.
So we've got. I think
of
the Edwards versus Macklin would be its sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got to build to that. We then also got Prepender versus Skyler. Again, you know, Skyler, you know, give a good account of himself in the No Surrender, you know, the countdown to No Surrender match with Trey. And of course, you know, Prepender's coming in now. Is it? I keep getting it wrong. Is it Gajar? Gujar,
I think.
So you know, we've had a match from him. So
they wrestled a few weeks ago, didn't they?
Yes.
So you feel like there's going to be something extra happen here.
This is definitely a rematch. Yeah, this is definitely a rematch. So we'll have to wait and see how this one pans out. And then, of course, we've got Eddie Edwards, who's got something to say. He's going to let us know why, Eddie. Why did you break off?
You can call it a cult, but I won't.
It's family.
Exactly that. So that was such a cool interview. I loved it. I loved having Vincent on. He was great. So it's really cool. So anyway, I'm going to leave you guys to have a quick chat about what you're thinking is going down with Eddie, and I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Okay. Well, love him or hate him, Eddie Edwards is still my guy in Impact Wrestling.
Yeah. Like I say, it's going to be, like I say, this is going to be one of those moments where I'm sure Impact we've seen have always had something in their corner.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I have faith that Impact will have a real good story to go along with it. But it's going to be interesting to see on where they go with this, because this can't have been something that they've had booked for, say, a year, because we know Impact like to long-term book, don't they? But this can't have been a long-term storyline booking, because, you know, this Honor No More thing, you know,
that happened. That happened back in November.
Yeah, Ring of Honor only shut down like back in November, so it's one of those things where how long term did they think about this? So it's going to be
I'm pretty sure.
To see.
Yeah, I think Eddie Edwards is definitely one of the guys behind this whole storyline.
I'm sure he is. Yeah,
he's gone to like Tommy Dreamer and Scott D'Amore and said, "Guys, we need to do this." And I think that the whole situation with Josh Alexander is going to be used as the reason why Eddie Edwards has gone over to them, you know, because he was the first person alongside Jordan Grace to lash out when Josh Alexander was sent home by Scott D'Amore, but before the whole news about his visa and that, Eddie Edwards was the first person to jump on and criticize Scott D'Amore for sending Moose home and not having him on Team Impact.
Yeah,
And then when the news broke about Moose not being able to actually come back, Eddie Edwards was saying this shit needs to get sorted now, or something's gonna happen.
I think you're talking about Josh, not Moose.
Call.
No,
Yes.
oh God,
Yes.
See, this is what happens when I try to think too much. You ask me to think. And
I'm sorry, brother.
It's one of those things where, like, I have complete faith that what we're going to hear on Thursday is we're going to hear it, and then I'm going to be like, that is amazing. Yeah. But it's just one of those things where we've seen storylines like this before, and it's always been an absolute bombshell that you always go in fearing the worst. So that's always the feeling that you're like, oh God, please let this be good, because it's been an absolute bombshell so many times. But I do have faith that given what we've seen over the last few years from Impact, that they will have something, that will be good.
I hope so. I have been. I must say, we all know that Eddie's not like the most natural promo guy.
That is the worry.
Yeah, that is a worry. But sometimes he does give. He sort of surprises you. So I think he's going to give a very passionate reason.
And who knows?
I got the faith.
Yeah, and who knows? We do know that some wrestlers, when they turn heel, they can be better with promos. And since he's like 7.5 year tenure here, he's never been heel. So maybe being a heel, he can be better on the mic.
Yeah. Look, you son of a bitch. It's so much easier to become a nasty motherfucker than it is to be really nice. Like,
it might be one of those things.
When him and Davey Richards got back together for Wrestling Revolver, and they cut a promo after their match with Infrared, Eddie Edwards was fantastic in that promo with Davey Richards. They were both shooting down Sammy Callahan for being injured, and John Moxley for not being able to wrestle because he was in rehabilitation. But they were the heel characters in Wrestling Revolver, and they were shooting down the fans. They were shooting, and Eddie Edwards was fantastic. And
I agree. I
doubt we're going to see David Richards back on Impact Wrestling, but Matt Taven did a great job. As soon as Eddie Edwards had hit Steve Macklin with the kendo stick, Matt Taven said to Eddie Edwards, "This is for Dave," and that's when he went up and gave him a hug.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
there's definitely there's already that connection between everybody in Honor and More there, and Eddie Edwards is a Triple Crown champion for Ring of Honor, so it's got a lot of history with Ring of Honor as well.
Yeah, a lot of history. Yeah. I agree.
One note I'd make to the visual of Eddie. One note I'd make to the visual of Eddie is we're seeing him obviously with his change of clothes and everything, and the change of color. I'd love it if he let his hair down to really make that kind of look of, of that kind of like, okay, the hair's over my face, and that gives him that kind of darker, more kind of evil,
more sort of grungy look.
Grungy look, that would kind of really add something too.
Yeah, it could do. Yeah, definitely. Oh man, we got so much stuff to talk about at the moment. I think it's very exciting times for Impact. If you're not watching the show, you need to be. We're obviously big fans of the product, so we're also super positive about everything. But the trouble is, it's very easy to be super positive about a product when it's good. And at the moment, the product is damn good. So you need to be watching it. Go check it out every single Thursday. You can either watch it through Access TV, obviously in the US. We've got all the different means of watching it over here now. Whether it be through Impact YouTube Insiders, Impact Plus. You can watch it. So there's so many different ways of watching it. So make sure that you do keep watching it every week. Don't miss out, because you just don't know what you're going to miss. Everything is so exciting at the moment. So make sure that you're watching the product, and of course join us every week to talk about the product as well. We love it. We absolutely love the product, and we love it when you guys join us as well. So it's great. And of course, special guest in the chat today, Moose, is in the house. So how cool is that? But there you go. Now, guys, please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up. And also make sure you watch tomorrow night's TNI flagship Impact live review directly after the show is aired on Twitch and, of course, YouTube. Also, all TNI shows are available for all you listen on the go fans. as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. But where can we find you guys on the socials? Let's just go with Joe first.
Sorry, I missed the question. What did you say?
Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
Oh,
Joe.
yes, we're doing the
Did you come back from the empty space? Is that okay?
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at JOKEmptySpace, or you can jump onto Facebook, look for #EmptySpace, #The Void, or if you fancy to test your sense of humor and sanity, #DailyGiggle. Just jump in with an open mind and you just might keep your sanity.
There you go. What about yourself, Steve? Where can we find you, brother?
What was the question?
Oh my God!
You can find me over on Twitter at SimplySteve311 for everything Impact Wrestling related. Or if you fancy a read of any articles that I write that are Impact, you can head over to WrestleBuddy.com under the Impact Wrestling header. I've got a new one coming out tomorrow regarding the thoughts on the Bullet Club and the Eddie Edwards turn.
Okay, very interesting. So make sure, guys, I will be sharing that personally. So make sure if you're interested in getting to know the Bison, at Lord Bison 45 is where you can find me on Twitter. I'll repeat that again, at Lord Bison 45. I've hit 1,500 follows today. Who's going to be 1,501? Come on, guys, do it. Now,
Not
please
me.
take the time. You're already there, aren't you, bud? Please, please take the time to help us out by moving up the rankings on YouTube, and of course getting some more eyes on the product. Give us a thumbs up, and if you're new to us and you like what you've seen or heard, then click subscribe, and don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, or even a smash to never miss any of the great content coming from TNI UK and US teams each and every single week. It's been a good show today, guys. It's been a good show. Can I just also say, don't forget to head over to the TNI Spreadshirt store. The information is down in the bio down below. To head over there. I think we've got some deals on it at the moment. Jay, have we got some deals? Just pop it in the. If you just pop it in the chat there, that'd be great to let people know. Get over there, buy your TNI merch. Absolutely superb. And also, don't forget, we've also got a shop on prowrestlingtees.com/total nonstop impact. Some great shirts. The TNI UK impacted team, full stop, and obviously the rest of the guys in the US as well. Huge thank you to Moose for joining us today. That was
so
superb.
surprised. I was so shocked. I was not.
Yeah,
expecting
can't
that
believe
at
it.
all.
Join us in the chat. How cool is that? The Impact World Champion, the wrestling god himself. Yes, we're putting him over. The wrestling god himself joined us today in the chat, which was great, guys. Anyway, with all that said, I've been Bison. They have been the Joker, and of course, Simply Steve. And this has been episode number 70 of Impacted. Take care, everyone.
We brought